Well, here we go. First match of the night, and it will be Jack Whelan versus Kristie Caulfield. Jack Whelan, former world champion, is going to get us underway, and he won that world title on the back of some massive breaks, and it will be Jack to break off first. 20-minute matches, races to 4. When the clock runs down, whatever the score is the final score. So it brings in the draw. And I gave Jack Whelan a big build-up on his break, and not his best effort there on the break. Slightly strange connection. They didn't open up at all. And it's going to be a congested little opening frame here.
Yeah, it's sort of...
Yellow balls in play.
Yeah, it's the sort of opening frame that we've come to expect from our first frames of the night. It's not been uncommon.
Amazing how often that happens, doesn't it? You get a little bit of an awkward opening frame, and with it being such a short match, it carries so much weight. The winner of this frame will be a big advantage.
And you have to say as well, this would probably favour Jack Whelan. Very experienced in this rule set, super talented player just in general, but he's got a great tactical brain as well. Kristie Caulfield can be a wrecking ball when he's in and amongst the balls, but I've seen less of that sort of tactical side of his game.
Yeah,
Jack's proven and done it.
Yeah, I think Kristie would probably rather have a bit more of an open frame, certainly to get himself going. I think Jack is very experienced and capable in waiting and grinding out chances, but Jack's game is built on big breaks and making lots of clearances from his break and his opponents, a lot of first visit chances. Almost goes without saying these days at the top of the game that it's a very aggressive level. Everyone's looking to clear up at the first opportunity. Neither player can really do that here. Jack just trying to get behind the yellow. Not quite got the snooker, but limiting what Kristie Caulfield can do. You have to say, when you know, Kristie's had to battle so hard to get to this point coming through the qualifying, which was a very stacked field of 100 or so players. And he's been handed with one of the toughest groups he could possibly have wished for.
Yeah, but I think that goes both ways as well. You know, I think if you were one of the Ultimate Pool pros and you knew you were going to have a qualifier in your group, safe to say you could have picked several more favourable matchups. Is this the point where Jack Whelan decides to go for it?
Oh, he certainly looked to be positive, trying to open things up. This yellow he's nearest to might just sneak into the bottom right-hand corner, so he might still be tempted here. To me, it depends whether he could make a plant on the two yellows towards the right-hand corner pocket. I don't know whether he can. That red might just be in the way, which means he's going to need another cannon of some sort, which might not be that easy to do. I think the yellow by the 8 ball goes through the gap to the corner pocket. He could play it off the red if he wanted to, the one nearest the bottom cushion. He finished lovely on it. That's a beautiful shot. It did go through the gap and he had the perfect angle to get the nudge he needed.
Mentioned right at the top of the show, he's actually had a really decent start, all told, to his Ultimate Pool career, Jack Whelan. Had a really good run in the Pro Cup, and had a really good run in the Pairs Cup as well. And I think you could make the case that he didn't really, himself, do a huge amount wrong in the Pairs Cup either. I think his partner, Clint Ianson, would be the first to agree with that. He was out of sorts, and if any player at that stage of the Pairs Cup isn't playing their best, isn't pulling their weight, you're just not going to get through against the opposition they were facing in the end.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jack Whelan has really hit the ground running with Ultimate Pool. First event just before the new year, making it all the way through to the semi-finals. Just hampered queuing here, making this tricky.
Played that really well. Tougher shot than that looked. Kristie Caulfield certainly would have been sat higher up in his chair as Jack took that one on, but no mistake from the Wonder. Jack Whelan goes 1-0 in front. Had a wonderful year in 2015 in particular. Did the double, 2015 World Champion and the doubles champion that year as well, which was just sensational.
We mentioned Clint Jansen, he did the double with Clint, so yeah, world titles together. He really is a top player. A lot of belief when he's at the table.
Yeah, we didn't see too much of him on the Ultimate Pool circuit in 2021. It was a late addition, so he didn't take part in the Champions League last year or the Pro Series. So he comes in as a new player for 2022.
But he did have a good year in his own right in terms of the events that he did play in.
Oh goodness me! Yeah, he did the back-to-back World Rules Pool Tour weekend, didn't he? Which was amazing. And speaking of amazing, have a watch of this break from Kristie Caulfield. He catches that like wildfire.
Yeah, they have exploded. Just the two balls stayed in the triangle area. The rest have absolutely disappeared everywhere. Reds is going to be his choice here, but there's one red on the table that's awkward. You've got the red and yellow together just below the break line. That red does go to the top right-hand corner, so he could play position on it, although he's come a long way down the table here, and he's actually got a bad angle on the one in the middle. And that bad angle continues. He wanted to be a little bit above this red so he could get to where he wants to onto the next red. Now he's got the wrong angle to do so. And that is why he's taken the thinner pot to the corner now. And just catches it a little bit thick. It was all about that first shot where he just overran it, making it tricky. Not sure he's left Jack Whelan an open pot, apart from the one below the 8 ball, but there may be a plant here for him. Not just the plant, that's excellent. Developed the bad ball as well, one nearest the top right-hand corner. Okay, it could have come out a little bit kinder for him, but he'll be pleased that it's come out at all. Yeah, I'm just called for his extension. He was just starting to cue that one up with quite a lot of top right-hand side, trying to get across the right-hand side of the table. In the end, he didn't. Had too much angle to try and get to the right-hand side of the table from where he was, which I think is why he maybe changed his mind, but he's come far too far down the table and on nothing.
Yeah, problem here for the Wonder.
He must have overhit that shot or feel like he maybe had a big bounce off that top cushion by a good couple of feet at least, if not more.
Some recovery pot if he can get this. And he couldn't. White would have stayed up if the yellow had gone in, but he got his colours the wrong way around. And this brings Kristie Caulfield to the table with a much more presentable chance than where he left it.
Yeah, and that could be a big mistake in the sort of context of this match because of Kristie having first chance in this frame. Jack could have punished the error and gone 2-0 up with half the match gone. He's in the driving seat, but now it looks certain that Kristie's going to tie things up at 1-1. In such short races, that can be the difference. And no mistakes at all. A mistake apiece, but it's Kristie Caulfield that gets the frame on the board. And we are all square as we approach the halfway point.
He'll be a dangerous participant in this group, that's for sure. I mean, the picture tells you that, but But even aside from that, he's got a great record, Kristie Caulfield. And anyone who got through that qualifying stage, we talked about it in the first week. It was a tough weekend. Some really talented players amongst them. Anyone who's got through there has shown they are capable of putting a run together where they can go and beat some of the better players around and do some serious damage in this tournament.
Yeah, and this is the first event for Kristie Caulfield with Ultimate Pool, but he has committed to the Challenger Series, and he's going to be one of the fancied players in coming through the Challenger Series in 2022 and looking to book a spot in the pro ranks for next year. He absolutely is one of the names to watch out for. And that breaks a bit more like it from Jack Whelan, a bit more what we're used to seeing. Although the cue ball very close to the top right-hand corner pocket. A little bit fortunate to keep it on the table. But he'll be pleased with this split. No real issues, even across the table. And clear the two left at the bottom of the table and then transition up. What he'd like to do is land on a nice angle when he transitions up the table to be able to get the one on the top cushion. He could even leave lots of angle and play to the top left-hand corner, and then he would be on a choice of a couple of balls, but ideally the one on the top cushion. He has left plenty of angle. Just held up for a second there. I think he was a little bit worried, but it stays on the table. He would love this angle if the cue ball wasn't on the side cushion. He'd be thrilled with the angle he has on this one on the top cushion. The problem he has here is if he just drops this in, he's not going to get nicely on the one to the right of the 8 ball. And you could see him pointing his cue. He's wondering if he can get on the one to the left of the 8 ball to then play on the one to the right.
He's got options.
I think he's actually got a nice angle here. He can take the one to the right centre, and the cue ball's going into the 8 ball to hold on the yellow to the left centre. It's well worked out from Jack Whelan there. And well executed as well.
Yeah, been a tricky start for sure. But Jack Whelan should here take a 2-1 lead. And he does. So 7 minutes and change remaining in this first match. Clock will stop for re-racks at the 5-minute mark. That's also when we'll see our 15-second shot clock. Reminder of the format for new viewers. We've got 4 players here tonight. Only one will go through to the second stage of the Champions League, and we'll join Shane Thompson, our first qualifier in the event. Actually be in the same group with the nature of the draw, so Shane's not going to have it easy, because whoever comes out of this, the standard is going to be absolutely crazy in that second stage, that's for sure.
I guess that's the nature of the event, really, and all events now with Ultimate Pool is once you get through the opening stage, I mean, even at the opening stage, it's such a stacked field. And in this format, it's such a volatile format as well that sometimes you just can't get the chances.
Yeah, absolutely what it's all about.
Well, Kristie Caulfield has absolutely timed that break to perfection, and he's come up dry, and he won't believe it. So the game can really frustrate you when you feel like you hit the break well and you come up dry and your opponent's the one at the table, especially when you're in Kristie's position at the moment, because he's behind as that clock ticks down, and that clock will feel to Kristie like it's flying along.
Yellow balls in play.
Jack's missed the little cannon he was looking for. Trying to make it off the cushion with a tracer side just to nudge it out only an inch or two so it would go into the right centre. But it's not a problem. It still goes to the top right corner. He's still fine.
Looking to break the back of this match here. Jack, if you can get this frame on the board, it would be very, very unlikely for a Caulfield comeback.
This isn't a guaranteed finish by any stretch, though. Not like the previous frame where it was open and he just had to mind his work with the cue ball. This time he's got the 8 ball on the cushion. He's got the red and yellow together. He's got the one that he didn't nudge first shot. They're all tricky. And I was going to say, even that one at the bottom of the table is a little bit tricky, but that secondary nudge from that red has just helped things out.
Massively. All of a sudden it looks a little bit more open. It's still not easy, but it's definitely easier now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a great ball to get onto the 8 ball. The red near the left centre pocket is quite a big blocker. You feel he's going to have to leave himself a difficult 8 ball.
15-second shot clock in play.
I suspect he's trying to leave the one into the left centre as his last ball. May not be able to with the angle he has here. So now he's in a situation where he's got the one at the bottom of the table to try and get on that 8 ball, and that is not easy. And not easy, especially from the angle he's got just off straight the wrong way.
He's going to have to force something pretty special here.
Just give yourself a look at it. Backing himself to make this tough pot down the cushion.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Like that decision as well.
This is absolutely huge, this shot.
Overcuts it. Kristie Caulfield bounces up out of his seat. And this is game on again. Doesn't take much in this environment for a game to swing on its hinges and go the other way.
If this 8 ball drops, Jack Whelan will feel like that's the match done. Now it hasn't. He'll be sat in his chair thinking, we're going to be 2-2 with a minute or so left on the clock. Now, Kristie Caulfield can't think like that. He has to put this frame to bed, and he's got a couple of problem balls, or one in particular, to sort out.
Gone after it there, not quite got it right.
Oh, well, he's not going to finish on anything either. He's going to probably just have to lay the easy snooker.
Oh, he's not got it.
That's an interesting way of playing it. I'm surprised he's played it that way. It was so easy just to play the one on the cushion and get the snooker behind it. He's tried to push one up the table at the same time.
That's a massive mistake. Can it be punished? Yes, it can. Say it so often around these top players and make absolutely no mistake. Jack Wonder Whelan is absolutely one of those top players. They might give you one look. They very, very seldom give you two. You have to take the chances that are presented to you. That is a massive moment. Could be a huge moment in the night for Jack Whelan.
Yeah, Kristie's going to be kicking himself. That was, I say it was a slightly strange way of playing it. I'm guessing he wanted to get that red over the middle pocket, but he could have played the one on the cushion. It wasn't frozen to the cushion. He could have played it and got the snooker on it without blocking the other red up, and I think he would have got another chance to come back at the table and then potentially be 2-2 rather than 3-1. Big error.
Yeah, the easy snooker was there, right? And because he was so close to it, he could nearly go and break there from Jack, but because he was so close to it, really easy to lay a nightmare snooker that Jack's massive odds against to get out of, and then all of a sudden you've got a cue ball in hand, you can find an angle to develop your bad ball, you're away.
Yeah, and he didn't necessarily need to develop his bad ball either. He could have backed himself to play position on it, and if he got on it, you wouldn't expect him to miss it down the cushion. So for me, more of a mental error than an execution error. Although, having said that, the way he did try and play the snooker, I still expected him to get it. It was just a riskier way of doing so. But he's fighting hard here, following that dry break from Jack Whelan. A very, very quick reverse clearance, potentially.
It needed to be, and it will be. He has rattled through these. Mentioned at the start of the match, Kristie Caulfield can be something of a wrecking ball, and that was impressive.
It really was. I didn't quite catch the number of minutes or number of seconds left on the clock as he started that visit, but that was, one of the quickest reverse clearances we've ever seen.
Yeah, he did not hang about there. Goodness me. Seriously impressive from Kristie Caulfield. Needs another, and he's got the time to do it. Oh, 120 odd left on the watch. There's still, I'm remiss to use the phrase plenty of time, but there's still time.
Yeah, what he needs is a ball and a chance. You've got time for a break clearance. You haven't got time for a tactical exchange and then a break clearance. So a lot hinges on this break for Kristie Caulfield. And he's got the first part, which is a ball. Oh, and he's got a great chance as well.
Tell you what.
What a turnaround this could be. Oh, does he have an easy opening red? No, he's got the one he's nearest to. Which I can tell you he did make just as we were having a look at that replay. The problem was the control of the cue ball off. It was tricky. He just needs one good shot to get back into position.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that will do him. Can he get through the yellows up to the top half of the table? Oh,
yeah, lovely. Well, well, well.
He could have done with 2 more rolls on that cue ball just to make life easier.
Yeah, cue ball's going to be travelling here. Just to pick his spot for the 8 ball and land it. That's nice. Really well played. He's going to leave 30 seconds or so on the clock here for Jack Whelan. It is the Wonders break next. But Kristie Caulfield ties things up. 2 rapid finishes. The wrecking ball comes to play, and that's what he can do.
Well, that's incredible.
It's
that
the danger
really
we
incredible.
talked about at the start of the show. Every single player is capable of magic on this stage, and Kristie is about as dangerous a qualifier as you can meet, because he's capable of doing something like that. And on this format, on these nights, he's made for it.
I didn't quite catch the number of seconds left on the clock when he came to the table 3-1 down, but it was just under 3 minutes, I believe. And here we are with 22 seconds left, and he's tied it up with reverse clearance, break clearance. That's pretty magical from Kristie Caulfield. It might have even been less than that 3 minutes.
Where's that 8 ball? Where is that 8 ball? Oh, oh wow.
That is incredible.
And you can see how close he was. You can see how much Jack Whelan knew it as well. Willing it into that pocket. Both players take their medicine, and it will finish a 3-all draw. What an opening first match that is to kick us off in the Champions League. This is how close Jack Whelan came to a golden break to win it with seconds to spare. And that one will just hang over the pocket. Wow, what a finish in our opening match. We've still got plenty to come on the Champions League.